What number comes to your mind when you're asked to pick a number between 1 and 100? This might seem like an odd question, but the truth is, when most of us are asked to choose a random number, many of us, almost instinctively, gravitate towards 37. Now, isn't that fascinating? You see, we humans like to think we're good at being random. We believe we can just pluck a number out of thin air, no strings attached. But the reality is a bit more complex. Our choices are influenced by an array of factors, some of which we might not even be aware of. Digging into this intriguing phenomenon, we stumble upon the concept of psychologically random numbers. It's a fascinating term, isn't it? It refers to the numbers we choose when we're trying to be random. But, as it turns out, our attempts at randomness are anything but. It's as if 37 has a magnetic pull, drawing us in, beckoning us to choose it above all others. But why 37? Well, some believe it's because it's a prime number. Others think it's because it's not too low or too high, striking a balance in the middle. But there's no definitive answer. And this isn't just limited to numbers. Let me show you. Think of a random vegetable. Do it now. Pick a random vegetable, remember your choice, and we will return to this later in the video. So back to 37. It appears that whenever we try to pick a random number, there's a higher than expected probability we end up picking 37. But why? What's so special about this number? Is it the magic of 37? Or is it a glimpse into the fascinating labyrinth of our minds? Why does 37 seem to have a magnetic pull on our minds when we try to be random? It's a curious conundrum, isn't it? Let's delve into why 37 might appear so often. One reason could be the mathematical properties of the number. 37 is a prime number, meaning it can't be divided by any other number than 1 and itself. It's also the 12th prime number, and 12 itself holds a certain degree of fascination in our minds. It's the number of months in a year, the number of hours on a clock, the number of signs in the zodiac. So could it be that the prime status and the link to 12 make 37 somehow appealing to our subconscious? 37 also has a certain prevalence in popular culture. It's the title of numerous songs, books, and movies. It's even the temperature in degrees Celsius at which the human body is said to function optimally. So, could this cultural familiarity be another reason why we gravitate towards 37 when asked to pick a number at random? Interestingly, the allure of 37 isn't just about its individual attributes. It's also about the way it contrasts with other numbers. For instance, numbers like 10, 20, or 50 might feel too round, too neat to be truly random. The same goes for numbers ending in 5 or 0. They feel orderly, predictable, but 37, it feels messy, uneven, unpredictable. In other words, it feels random. Yet, here lies the paradox. The very act of us repeatedly choosing 37 undermines its randomness. It's a bit like going to a magic show knowing how the tricks are done. The illusion of randomness fades, and in its place we see a pattern, a preference, a pull towards 37. So 37 stands out not just because of its mathematical properties or cultural prevalence, but because of the very nature of our minds trying to be random. It's a fascinating insight into how our minds work, isn't it? By trying to be random, are we not being random at all? And it makes you wonder, what other patterns are lurking beneath the surface of our seemingly random choices? Now let's return to vegetables. Earlier I asked you to pick a vegetable. Oh, I see it. I'm reading your thoughts. Yes, it's coming to me. You picked carrot as your vegetable, am I right? Interesting, isn't it? Just as with the number 37, we see a pattern of non-randomness emerging. Now, not everyone watching this video picked carrot, but an unusually high number of you did. Potato is probably the second most common choice. Did anyone pick the artichoke or the watermelon radish or Romanesco broccoli? Unlikely. You see, when given a choice, our minds tend to gravitate towards the familiar, the comfortable. We choose carrots or potatoes because they're well known to us. They're staples in our diet. Similarly, we choose certain numbers because they hold some significance or familiarity to us. This phenomenon is not limited to numbers or vegetables. It extends to all areas of choice, from the clothes we wear to the music we listen to, and even the people we surround ourselves with. Our choices, as it turns out, are often anything but random. Even when asked to make random choices, it's almost like we cannot do it. The very act of trying to be random means our choices are not truly random. Whether it's numbers or vegetables, our minds have a funny way of being random, don't they?